Hey, man.
Hey, buddy.
How are you?
I'm not bad.
Fuck, this is going bad.
Just
Just dropped my shit everywhere.
Tys just dropped his notepad. See, this is a thing here on Tys and Videotape. We play it
Dropping
old,
shit?
We play it old school.
We do. We use notepads.
We use notepads.
Because that's how,
Exactly.
That's how our ancestors did it when they talked about movies.
That's hilarious.
Hey, so guess what, man?
Yeah, buddy.
It's episode 4.
It is.
That's pretty exciting.
Do you know any... I only like to say this because we're going to get to like episode 40 and then there's never an episode 40 of a movie. Have you seen an episode 4 of a film that was good? That comes to mind?
Oh, Jesus.
Phantom Menace doesn't know.
No. We've already talked about this film series a little bit, but I have a soft spot for Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, that's right. That's true. You have talked about that. Lethal Weapon, yeah.
I don't think it's a particularly great movie, but I'll happily watch it.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love the Jet Li is real fucking good in it too.
I need to see it again. I can't think of any other 4s.
Yeah,
we're going to move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Hey, so in exciting news, we launched the show.
We launched.
We
posted
last
our
week. First 3 episodes online, the response has been incredible.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
it's
been killer.
It's been great.
We've had downloads worldwide.
Actually,
worldwide. And here I am. I was just like, oh yeah, it'll just be Victoria, Australia.
Maybe
we've got some Ireland.
Ireland. There. I'd like to shout out to Mark.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and his clearly friends. But there was more than one download in Ireland, so I was like, wow, okay.
We've got some US. We've got some Japan.
Yeah,
we've got some New Zealand.
We've got some New Zealand in there.
It's
awesome.
It's been really great.
Thank you to everyone.
Yeah, so
please keep listening to us.
Keep listening. But this is where things get exciting because now our admin section, I have to rattle off
That's
7
true.
different things. You can find us on iTunes.
I'll go for it.
You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on TuneIn Radio.
That's true.
You can find us, anywhere you find podcasts, really, because we've conquered them all now. And most of the other ones kind of just pilfer from iTunes anyway. So whatever you listen to, you can find Tys and Videotape.
Awesome.
Which is amazing.
That is so good.
Don't forget you can email us.
Please do.
nickticeandvideotape@gmail.com. We've had some correspondence this week.
That's true.
You can tweet at us.
And tweet at us at Nick Tys Videotape on Twitter.
Yeah. And you can also, I think we've got an active Facebook page.
Oh, we do have an active Facebook page. That's true. Just literally just type in Nick Tys and Videotape and it just pops up. We're the first one there. Bang.
Well, I would assume we're the only one.
We are.
I don't even type videotape when I have to search us for anything. I just type Nick Tys and it comes up.
There you go, gang.
But yeah, we can't say thank you enough. It's been super encouraging.
It really has.
The response we've had.
It's boosted our morale. Morale? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with morale.
Morale, that'll do.
Yeah.
Hey man, did you see any trailers this week?
Trailers. Yes, I did, Tyson.
What'd you see?
Oh, it's me. I'm knocking the thing. Okay. I did see. I saw a trailer that a lot of people had gripe with even before the trailer came out.
Sure.
And I'm going to talk about Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, cool.
Now,
I was thinking about talking about that as well.
Yeah, and I am with the people who are fans of Ghost in the Shell, the anime. I have seen it. I agree with them. If you are going to do such a movie, don't cast a person who isn't Asian in this because it is an Asian character. Cast someone that's Asian. It's the same as what was it? The Lone Ranger that cast Johnny Depp as the Native American. Don't do that. Don't do that. And the next one that also got me pissed off with not casting the right nationality for that role. There are a million actors out there. I'm sure you'll be able to cast, the right nationality for the role. You're not gonna, it may be subtle, but it's sort of, you're not going to do a Martin Luther King movie with a man doing blackface.
No.
Okay. It's obviously not that charged, but
sure.
The other one that I wanted to mention was Pan, another redo of Peter Pan with is it Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, it was with Hugh Jackman.
They cast.
It was Rooney Mara.
That's the one.
And they cast her as a Native American.
Yeah,
was she
another Native
meant
American.
to be in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I wasn't 100%
because I remember
certain.
it from the Peter Pan, the Disney.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyway,
okay, I'm going to throw a mild spanner in the works and just like
go on.
I agree completely with what you're saying.
Yep. But you want to get butts in the seats? Is that what you're going to tell me?
Well, okay. So there's two schools of thought. It is essentially a Hollywood remake of a story.
That's true.
So it has, while it is, if it was a live action adaptation that was produced in that country, of course it would be with people. Is it Japanese or is it?
I think it's Japanese.
We'll say Japanese.
Yep.
So because it is an American remake or adaptation of it, still obviously borrowing elements heavily from it. I'm just throwing a spanner.
That's fine.
You're looking
Throw
at me
your
funny.
spanner. I don't agree with you.
Okay, that's fine. So is there any circumstance where that would be okay? Do you feel? Or is it because what about like The Ring? Like the American version of The Ring. What about any time Hollywood
no. This is a little bit different because the fan base for Ghost in the Shell is massive.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't sit, and I agree with them in that. But,
yeah, fair enough. I look forward to a time when there are better roles and more, because obviously one of the big arguments is that it's not going to put people in the cinema.
Yeah. But which I understand as well.
Yeah, which I understand. But
that
the solution to that isn't casting an unknown Asian actor in Ghost in the Shell. The solution is far deeper and far harder to achieve than that.
Yeah.
At least in this environment, we can maybe take some heed in the fact that they have cast quite a few Japanese actors in it.
They have, yes, which I'm fine with.
It's baby steps, but
yeah,
I completely get where you're coming from. But the problem is bigger than that, and it wouldn't be solved by that because what would end up happening is it would flop.
It would. No one would see it,
and then
it
would be set back even further,
which would hurt. Yeah.
At least the conversation is happening, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a bigger problem.
But anyway, the reason why I wanted to pick this is not to gripe over a miscasting. The reason I wanted to pick it is because even though I disagree with the miscasting, I am going to see this because the trailer
fucking awesome.
Really grabs me. It's so easy to grab me though. All you have to do, like the action looked badass. The setting, any film with that setting, that neo-noir setting.
Sure.
Oh, I'm there to a T. But you put, and a lot of people are going to hate me for saying this, and that's fine. But you chuck a cover of a song, and cover of a song in there, which was
the slow moody pop cover. Is it? What was it?
It's amazing. No, it was the song is "Enjoy the Silence" by Depeche Mode.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah. Oh, I love Depeche Mode, but this cover, sorry about that. This cover, I don't know who it's by. I don't care who it's by. It's awesome. You've got me. You hooked me. I'm a sucker for a decent pop cover and the slowing down and the badass.
Are you going to see Transformers The Last Night then? Because that had a pretty rad cover too.
No, that's way different. The two elements, the fact that there was a neo-noir setting, very, very awesome futuristic Japan into...
the visuals are really great.
So the reason, so if... To get me hooked on a trailer is not that hard. The setting is good. The action is good. You've got a musical. You've got a cover in there of a song that I love. I'm a sucker for covers. I'm there. I'm sold.
The action looks great. Like it looks like it's going to kick some ass.
Yep.
There's some really interesting visual elements. The geisha robot.
Oh yeah.
Is terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
How good is it though?
Yeah.
It looks
it looks really great. How long's it been since you've seen the cartoon?
Oh, years.
Years for me too.
Yeah. I need to see it again.
I could almost say 20 years.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
It's old.
Because I think it was one of those ones because I remember, shout out to my brother, who he was big on like the manga
Oh,
anime
that
stuff.
anime, yeah.
And so he would be like, "Oh man, have you heard about this movie Ninja Scroll and stuff like
Yeah.
that?" And
Yeah,
I'd be
that's
like,
the thing.
"Oh, cool, yeah."
Yeah.
And I would be watching these cartoons, and I'm like, "Holy shit, man! There's people getting their heads cut off and like random sexy things happening. Like,
it's so good.
and it's
so
just like
good.
these are cartoons. Like it blew my mind that it could
It was
happen in
cartoons
cartoons
for adults. That's the thing.
Not
like-
even that part of it.
Yeah.
That violence and sex could exist in cartoon form.
Oh, okay.
14-year-old
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
like,
What? Yeah, totally.
so I went through a big phase watching all that. So I reckon I would have been 14, 15,
Okay.
and I've never seen it since.
Yeah. Well, he's awesome.
I couldn't tell you anything about it.
So good. So yeah. So that was my trailer, Tys.
Yeah,
what
I'm
did you
pumped
watch?
for it.
What did you watch?
I'm going to talk about this very strange-looking movie. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I've just had this fear as I wrote it down that I'm like, holy shit, I've never said this word out loud. What if I'm saying this the wrong way?
Oh, okay.
The Beguiled?
Oh yeah, The Beguiled. Yeah.
Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah.
Great.
I was going to watch the trailer. But yeah.
So, new Sofia Coppola film.
Yep.
Who
Sophia.
is up and down in my book. I've enjoyed some and not enjoyed others.
That's true. I'm the same.
But always keen to watch them because they're always interesting.
Give her a go.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but she's doing something really weird. She's remaking this 70s Clint Eastwood film.
Oh right. Right.
Was kind of never one of his big hits at all,
Yeah.
but was directed by Don Siegel, who directed all of the good kind of...
Spaghetti westerns.
No, that was Sergio Leone.
Right.
The good crime films that he was in. So the good Dirty
right.
Harry and things like that. And if
okay.
you wanted a gritty cop movie in the 70s,
Yeah.
Don Siegel was like your go-to guy.
Okay.
So back then, this was a departure for him to
Right.
make this film.
Right,
This
right.
was I think it was pre the first Dirty Harry. So he'd already made a name for himself as kind of like a cop guy, like
Okay.
a cop movie kind of action director.
Mm.
Makes this weird Civil War drama about a guy that gets injured and makes his way to a house where there's only women living there,
Okay.
who look after him, nurse him back to health. But it turns out the women may have some ulterior motives once he starts to kind of make himself comfortable within the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen the old one.
Okay.
I find it really interesting though because it's one of those clear departures.
Yeah.
This is when Clint Eastwood was doing stuff that was really interesting and not just being a weird old man who talks to empty chairs.
Oh.
So
He slipped a little.
he
A little,
slipped,
but not
poor
not,
guy.
not a lot, but a little.
But he's not making great movies
No.
anymore, which is also a disappointment. But so it's got this really interesting premise. The cast is great. It's kind of
Yeah.
Coppola regulars.
Yep.
But then you've got Colin Farrell as
Colin
the
Farrell.
lead guy doing the
Yep.
Clint Eastwood role.
Uh-huh.
But you got some Nicole Kidman in there.
Yep.
Elle Fanning.
Yep.
Kirsten
Kirsten Dunst is back.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Kirsten Dunst.
She's an incredibly good
Yeah.
actress.
Yeah.
It looks really interesting. It looks kind of like she's amping up the horror elements of it, but I don't know how much the
Okay.
original was a horror anyway, so maybe it's just taking inspiration from that.
So into watching, are you going to see it at the cinema, Tys? No,
Probably
it's
not.
yeah.
It's. I don't even think it'll get a cinema release here.
Right.
It doesn't look like that kind of
Oh,
film.
might at Nova, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. Maybe
Yeah.
if Nova Alito or something. But yeah, it looks really intense. Also, Nicole Kidman, I'm really glad to see doing what I think she does best, which is being a full creep.
Oh yeah, she
Like,
does it well.
She
doesn't
does
she?
it so well,
Yeah.
and it's always been
I'm not a huge fan of Nicole Kidman, but yeah, when she brings
Like,
it good, she knows what she's doing.
To Die For is I still think
Yeah.
the best usage of Nicole Kidman,
Yeah.
and it looks like she's doing something kind of similar here as being a
Okay.
very, very sinister kind of character, but it's a bit underneath the surface. She's putting on this kind of facade of niceness,
Okay.
and she has some other things going on because I find her quite terrifying.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
she can be quite terrifying.
Yeah.
So I think she's an excellent casting choice for this. So it's going to be fun, man.
So you haven't seen the original?
I haven't seen it. It's
No.
very hard to come by, apparently.
Right.
Oh, anyway.
Sophia, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, look, and she's like I said, always worth seeing
Yeah.
a Sofia Coppola film.
Exactly.
So while we move on,
Yeah,
that's our trailers for this week.
that is.
But
Awesome.
remember, we've still got to name it, and now we have
And now we have listeners.
regular listeners.
Please don't let us just have trailers with a Z
Yeah.
or
because it doesn't really come across when we say
No.
it. Trailers.
or trailers. Coming soon to a theatre near you.
That's a long. It's too many fucking words.
It's true.
Short, succinct.
Do you remember when trailers were called previews back when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Let's watch the previews. But when you chucked in the VHS that you got from Blockbuster, Mum would be making the cup of tea, and you're like, yeah, don't fast forward the previews. I want to watch them. This is how we watched trailers back in the day.
Is that an Australian thing? Previews?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is.
Like going to the movies?
Going to the movies, yeah. Well, I used to say, and friends of mine used to say, we actually love how you say. I used to say, "Oh, I'm going to the pictures."
Yeah, pictures. That's
I
what I was. It wasn't
pictures.
movies. It was
Yeah.
going to the pictures.
Yeah, we're going to the pictures, and they used to love that. They thought that was
I
quaint
think
and cute.
that's not just an Australian thing,
No, it's not.
but it's very quaint.
But it is, yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Hey, Nick, we're on to our next segment. What did you see this week?
I actually watched a lot.
Did ya?
What did you watch this week? Yeah, I actually watched a few because it's leading up to Oscars, Ty, so I need to chuck them in.
Dude,
I literally have a week.
I haven't watched any of them. I feel so bad.
And we have to do our Oscar.
It's going to be a shambles.
Good Lord, he's going to try and chuck it all into one day, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not.
Anyway, so I watched 3 Hidden Figures. I watched La La Land. I saw that.
Yep.
And then I watched another one. I watched my Scientology movie, which is Justin
the Louis
Theroux.
Theroux.
Yeah,
Justin
not Justin. I am off tonight. I am off. Totally off.
Renowned
documentarian. It's been a long day.
Justin Theroux.
Well, it's his cousin.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Close, yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So yeah. Just quick bites from each of these. I just wanted to mention.
Sure.
Hidden Figures. I'm not gonna say what I think will win Best Oscar because I'm sure we'll have that show where we do that. But Hidden Figures didn't really bring the goods for me.
Sure.
And this is the thing I was telling someone today. Whereas if once a movie is nominated, it's set on quite a pedestal for me. So I went into Hidden Figures going, okay, this better be, I better feel some emotions and really love this movie. If it's up for Best Picture at the Oscars, come on, what are you doing?
Sure.
I was wrong. And for a topic that is red hot,
Yeah.
very dramatic, it just didn't. I was like, okay, no. It was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good, and the acting in it was sublime. But I like Kevin Costner. But
Me too.
But yeah, it just didn't bring the goods
That's
for
a
me.
shame.
That one, yeah. And unfortunately, the same can be said for me. Now I'm pretty sure I'm alone on this, but the same can be said for me for La La Land.
Now
Now
you're not
that's-
alone at
yeah.
all. There has been an
Really?
incredible amount of backlash against
Right.
that film.
And I'm not. I liked a few things. Unfortunately, that opening number, I feel like you ran that down my throat. I felt like I was watching an episode of Glee.
Sure.
But
You don't want that.
you don't want that. You don't want to start like that. Do you know what I mean? Give it in subtly. Anyway, I like the ending. It was very beautiful to look at. The visuals in La La Land are amazing.
Sure.
I feel that Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling's dancing was, when you watch it, compared to people like the people that they're emulating, the people that they're
Fred Astaire and Jane Kelly.
exactly. When you're coming across from trying to emulate something like that, it needs to come very naturally, where it didn't feel naturally.
Sure.
To me. Yeah. So yeah, and La La Land, if you were to, I kind of said this to my wife. I was like, if you were to take out Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling, and let's say put in Topher Grace and Miley Cyrus, that movie would fucking suck, and no one would fucking see it.
Sure.
They made that movie. They brought it up to a bar which was watchable. Otherwise, especially because the characters that they play are horrible.
Topher Grace
and Miley Cyrus in La La Land. Remake that, and yeah, I'm sure it'll get Best Picture.
Anyway,
yeah.
that's a shame.
And yeah, my Scientology movie. The only quick thing I wanted to say was it was good, but there are better docos out there about Scientology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of them. I'm waiting. I do want to watch the Louis Theroux one because I'm quite a fan of his.
He is good, but yeah,
he's always good. He's always good at getting to the He's very disarming,
great, isn't he? He's great because
disarming.
he's so still with his questions. He'll ask and then just let you sit in that silence and have you think on your own, kind of stew on your own as answers come out.
He's the best way. He's more capable of making the subject kind of tie their own noose into a degree than anyone else I've ever seen. And he does it in such a calming manner.
He's so good, isn't he?
I just love watching it. And because it's, he'll just let them, he makes them so comfortable that they just start talking.
They do it on their own will.
And then all of a sudden it's like they say the things that they didn't want to say. And but he never. It's not like he even goes,
he forces them. Exactly. He just lets them sit.
He just lets them do it, and still hangs out with them. And
exactly.
He must, in his head, he must know. Oh man, I just got gold.
Yeah,
I just got you.
Yeah,
like,
he just a wink to the cameraman. Bang, we got it. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame because I'm looking forward to seeing that, but I haven't seen any of the Scientology ones. There's Going Clear, which I heard was
way
great.
better. That's the one that I would compare it to. Which Going Clear covers a lot more. And a lot more depth.
Sure.
Yeah, which is great.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to end up smashing those Oscar films, in a...
I can't wait.
It's going to be disgusting. I'm going to be red-eyed.
No, it's not. You're going to be great. You're
angry and grumpy.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. We'll chuck some coffee into you or a Red Bull and...
Ugh. It's gonna be nasty.
It's all right. You got a week and a half. You'll be fine.
Well, then it's ridiculous though because I'm about to tell you what I want to talk about this week.
I'll go for it.
So I didn't watch any Oscar-nominated films this week.
What did you watch this week?
I watched a 2015 New Zealand film called Deathgasm. That's how I spend my time.
Really?
Yeah.
Deathgasm.
It was on Stan.
Okay.
Go shout out for Stan, and it is fucking cool. It is great.
It was good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a comedy horror film.
Yep.
It is about a couple of New Zealand heavy metal fans.
Oh, okay.
Who discover through wanting to kind of stalk their idol.
Oh, okay.
They discover this sheet music, which can summon demons. And they, of course, don't know this. And they play the song, and the demons are summoned, and shit hits the fan. It is
played with the Ouija board. You played with
it's
it.
Essentially,
it's
essentially that. But it's comedy. It's very funny. It's super bloody. It is. It's really.
That's awesome.
It wears its Sam Raimi and Peter Jackson like. Roots
on their sleeve,
so much on their sleeve.
Yeah.
It is, which I love. Like it looks exactly like an early Sam Raimi film, and that's such a compliment. Really,
exactly.
And it's funny, and not just like it's not going for the easy laughs a lot of the time. Sometimes it's going for quite like complex laughs that I found really funny. Definitely recommend it. It was really fun. It's just on Stan. It's
cool.
it's super. I need to reiterate, super gory. Not
gory.
For weak-stomached kind of people.
That's awesome.
It was
I love it.
Out of control.
If my brother is listening, Dan, this is for you.
Yeah, get on it.
He's a metalhead and he loves horror.
Oh, then it's perfect. It's perfect. And because there's a lot of kind of inside gags for metal fans as well.
Oh, see, there you go.
Which is really fun.
Decent.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's our
segments?
Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to talk about.
That's what you sure?
I saw a bunch of shit, but fuck it, that'll be fine.
Well, you didn't see Oscar nominated.
But I didn't see anything Oscar nominated.
That's hilarious.
Like a hack that I am. It's been busy weeks, man.
Busy weeks, man. Alrighty. Okay, Tys. Well, here we go. Would you like to start the actual topic that we're going to talk about?
Ah, yeah.
Which is
we're going to talk about a 1987 film.
Yeah.
Which we, if anyone read the episode descriptions, we gave you a hint at last week. We're talking about The Running Man today. The
Running Man. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I've got to tell you, man. So
love him.
This is nothing. Believe it or not,
go for it.
This was not a deliberate choice.
Yeah, you kind of opened a can of worms,
which
here,
was. So after our last episode, which was a film that you chose,
Die Hard.
It kind of went. I was like, okay, it's my turn to choose something.
Yeah,
and I was sitting at home looking at my DVD collection. I'm like, fuck, what do I want to talk about? Because it's really hard to find. We've already talked about this. The perfect balance of a movie I love, a movie I want to talk about,
sure,
but not something that is super
unknown.
No, like super in depth because we're still pretty new to this. We don't want to jump into this huge movie with all this stuff that you can talk about and not do it justice.
That's true.
So it's a fine line. Anyway, so I'm scanning through my DVDs and I'm like, The Running Man. Yeah, that's a good one. I love Arnie's. We love Arnie films. I love the movie. It's great, and it's kind of it's got a bit of social commentary going on. So we'll have a few things to talk about. Holy shit, man.
Dude, you opened a can of worms. Literally, it was so while watching this halfway through, I was like, this isn't funny anymore. This is not funny.
There's no enjoyment to it anymore.
This is no fun. Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It's very scary.
I want to read out loud.
Please do.
This is the opening crawl, and as soon as I saw it,
tell the audience.
I had a heart attack.
Yeah, so this is the first thing to come up.
This is the first thing that happens in this film.
This is what's that goes.
So we all know what an opening crawl is. It's the text that happens, tells us a bit about the film that's coming up.
Yep.
By 2017... Ding, ding, ding. All in my head was like, holy shit, it's this year.
It's this year.
By 2017, the world economy has collapsed.
Oh.
Food, natural resources, and oil are in short supply.
Fuck.
A police state divided into paramilitary zones rules with an iron hand. Television is controlled by the state, and a sadistic game show called The Running Man has become the most popular show in history. All art, music, and communication are censored. No dissent is tolerated, and yet a small resistance movement has managed to survive underground.
How horrible is that for a start? Like, just to reality check the fuck out of you.
Exactly. Like, and...
Tell me one of those things that hasn't happened, Tys.
This is it. It's all happening. In my head, I'm like, oh shit, we are two bad decisions
away from
the running man. And it blows my mind.
That's right.
It's ridiculous. Oh. And what makes it even worse is that I haven't seen this film for 4 or 5 years. Like, I watch it every now and then because I return to a lot of Arnie movies. They've got a really kind of an important nostalgic place for me.
For me as well, yeah.
And so I'll go through kind of most of the 80s Arnie output every couple of years. So I'll just kind of work my way through them. But it had been a few years, and I did not remember that it was set in 2017.
That was a kick to the nuts.
That was straight off to the nuts. And then all this stuff, and as soon as I read the bit about the art and music and
the reality TV,
I
was like, fuck, so the Kardashians take over the world. This is fucked.
That's it.
This is really fucked.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so, oh man, what a mess. But I didn't want to get super political. Like, and as soon as that happened, I was like, well, shit, now this episode is going to become...
we have to dissect the fact that now this movie isn't a movie. This movie is a documentary.
This movie is almost a documentary.
Yeah.
But, so, we can try and attack it without...
We'll try and make it a little bit lighter.
Yeah, because it's such a light film.
Yeah.
Really, when you think about it. Like,
puns and badass action and...
Yeah. And look, it's got social commentary in it, but the attempts are generally pretty sloppy.
Yeah.
And so they were never the part that stood out to me. I was always kind of like... Because if I wanted, like, clever social commentary, I would watch RoboCop.
Right. Oh, beautiful.
Because it does what this is trying to do
and does it
a bazillion times better.
Yeah.
So I almost kind of blank
I'll play
out
that for $1.
Yeah, exactly. I'll blank out the social commentary bits of this.
Yeah.
And just watch it as like a really fun action movie.
Exactly.
That is at least trying to do something, so I can be kind of like, you know what? I don't have to feel guilty about enjoying this trashy action movie. Because it is attempting to do some things.
It is.
It's trying to be smarter than your average crappy 80s action film.
Yeah. That's true.
God. Yeah.
So the first after that scroll, the first thing to happen that kicked me in the nuts twice was the fact that so the thing that what is Arnold's character's name in this?
Ben Richards.
Ben Richards. So Ben Richards is a helicopter pilot, and then gets done for not murdering.
He's
set
chief,
up basically.
What's the word? He's chief officer. He's whatever commanding officer.
Yeah, superior.
Tries
officer.
to tell him to shoot a whole bunch of people, and he said he won't do it.
Yeah. Fake media straight in the ass. Seriously. So I was like, oh my God, this is way too full on.
That's the thing. Like, there's this, they manipulate
the footage
so much
of him so that it makes it look like he actually did kill them if people haven't seen this movie.
You know, I'm just like, we're in this position now where we're dealing with these ridiculous concepts like fake news and alternative facts.
Yeah. Fuck.
And it's happening.
And this is happening.
And I'll tell you what, man, like, it just goes to show Stephen King is really good at this stuff. Like, he's really good at that, predicting the forward world.
Yeah.
Another one of his other futuristic stories. Well, he's dealt with concepts similar to this before. One of his earliest stories he ever wrote, and this was another time he chose the Richard Bachman pseudonym.
Yeah.
Was a story called The Long Walk, which is essentially Hunger Games before Hunger Games.
Oh, right,
before
right.
Battle Royale, before any of those.
Right.
Except the concept wasn't that you had to kill each other. You had to walk until you were the last one alive.
Oh, wow.
So it was a whole bunch of
last
children.
Last one alive?
Yeah, so it was a whole bunch of children, and you walked until everyone else died.
Whoa.
But, you know,
Have you read that?
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh.
It's incredible. So, you know, he has...
Intense.
Yeah, super intense. But he's really good at predicting this kind of futuristic where... around you, it feels almost normal. Yeah. But when you actually analyze it, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, it's as if...
Because you would think, of course, if you are going to make up a world like this futuristic where this stuff happens, you would kind of use your imagination a lot more, but obviously somehow hits it right on the nose of what's happened, sort of thing.
It's all... Well, I mean, I can't think of any other time where someone's gotten... I mean, we are being a bit, we're overemphasizing the state we're in.
Oh, obviously.
But we're talking we're teetering on the edge of this.
We're closer to it.
We're closer to it than further from it. But this is exactly right.
Exactly.
But I can't think of any other films really that nailed. When you go back to say the 80s or the early 90s, any films that predicted an era
that was going to happen
that. Even got remotely close, and I'm not even talking about the violence aspects of this. I'm talking about just the society aspects of it.
Yeah. Like
the fact that there is the most popular television show is a reality show.
Yeah.
That concept didn't really exist back then. The fact that things like the Hunger Games have gotten so popular as forms of artistic entertainment. We must have some, as human beings, I think we do enjoy the idea of a kind of
survival,
fight to the death,
last
survival
man
thing.
Standing. Yeah.
And
it's a bit sick. It's
it's weird, but like it's interesting how he managed to just find he was able to tune himself into that and predict it so well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to talk about the movie though.
No, go for it.
We don't have to be
true.
quite so doom and gloom because, like we said, it is a lot of fun. Are you ready for some fun Running Man things?
Oh, go for it. Yeah.
Here's just a couple of fun things that I noticed.
Yeah.
So I love that one of the first shots of Arnold once he gets to the prison is him carrying a big fucking iron pipe thing.
It's not even a pipe. It's a
steel bar.
Like it's a girder thing.
It is the Arnold carries something heavy.
Yeah.
Trope.
Shot. Yeah. Well, they have it again in Commando when he holds the log.
Giant log.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just.
That's him, man.
They insist.
He's like,
did he insist on it?
Dude, I'm going to lift this thing in the shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have a cigar? No, I don't want to do
it. Yeah. Is it him saying, "Do you want to see me?" Or like, "Hey, do you think I can lift that?"
And he just lifts it.
He just lifts it, and
they go, "Wow, let's do that in the shot."
Let's roll, man.
I love that.
That's great. Every time I see it, I love catching that.
And that beard was so fake.
Oh, it was so fake. The fakest beard.
But
and you know
so
what?
Good.
It's going to be real. We're going to go back and it'll be a real beard.
Really?
I can't look at it.
I doubt it. Though.
Do you know? Maybe he's just one of those guys that has patchy facial hair.
Yeah. I feel sorry for
patchy.
those guys. I feel I'm one of those guys. That's why I don't grow a beard. And I will never grow a beard.
Hey, have you ever seen the movie Wedlock?
I believe I have. It's got to do with... Yeah, it doesn't have... I hate saying his name. I say his name Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer.
But it's...
Rutger Hauer, yeah, right.
But yeah, I have seen that. I have seen that once.
You know the premise?
It's basically it's the same premise, as Running Man, except with the reality TV doesn't have that bit.
Well, yeah, it's like they watched the first 10 minutes of Running Man and went, "Hey, we can
make a movie out of
make that movie."
Which came first, Running Man and Wedlock?
No, Running Man.
Running Man.
Yeah,
oh.
Wedlock was in the early 90s.
Oh, right.
Well, just for people listening, Wedlock is a film entirely about a prison where they have the neck thing.
Yeah, that a neck device that blows
and they
up
make
if you go past
they
a
make you
certain-
partner with somebody, and if you get more than a certain
That's
amount of distance
right.
from them, your neck collar
And
explodes.
do they find out who it is and they escape and
Yes,
run or
he
something?
finds it. Yes, because that's part of it. You
have
don't
to
know.
stay
You
close
don't know
to
who it
them.
is, so
Yeah.
it's the prison grounds.
That's right.
He finds out.
He finds
who
out
it
who's
is,
his.
and they escape.
Yeah.
But there you go. I remember seeing it. I'm like,
But Running Man.
that's so blatant. Did anyone ever someone got sued? Surely
No.
you can't just go.
Not in the 80s, man. Yeah, I have some questions, but mine come later. Mine come later. So
Look, we can go back and forth. The couple of things I do want to talk about the intro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about before we get to the game.
the Running Man. Yeah, sure. I liked it.
I do like it, and
It looked cheap though. It looked awesomely cheap. You could tell that they were shooting in a old steel mill. That didn't look like a prison to me. That looked like an old steel mill.
what kind
It
of
looked so awesome.
and okay.
Yep.
This is one of those movies where technology is simplified to make it easy for storytelling purposes.
Exactly.
But he sees this guy enter the code just by kind of glancing over his shoulder.
No,
and
he stands there for
It's the
ages.
biggest font I've ever seen. It's takes up the whole screen.
RX.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and he's so slow.
and he's slow
one
at
at a
typing it in.
time.
Hey, what are you doing? Get out of here. You know. Oh, fuck, that's funny. And it's so obvious that when they're kind of trying to turn it off the code and it's coming back on, it's so obvious what it is. There's another guy over there with a suitcase. Shoot him, and you'll turn the code off.
Do you know that guy that runs over the thing and gets his neck blown up?
Yeah, I've seen him before.
He is
the go-to Mexican of the 80s.
Yeah, if you needed, there's also
Spanish guy.
Because there's also there's Tony Leong, who is the go-to if you need an Asian character actor.
Oh, really?
Who just you need to fight with somebody. You used to get this guy. You'd know his face. You probably don't know his name. I don't know if it is Tony Leong. I think I might be making that up.
Okay.
But he's the.
I will say
he's
something.
The quintessential that guy.
Yeah.
This is one of those guys. He's one of the quintessential that guys.
Yeah. That's terrible. That's terrible that they've turned into that. Or maybe maybe they'll do something extra.
Totally young. Oh, now.
I'm just gonna. No, that's fine. You keep looking. I do love that. The head of the resistance is. I don't know how this happened. Is one of the main guys from Fleetwood Mac. What the hell is with
Mick
that?
Fleetwood.
What the fuck? Mick Fleetwood is the head of the resistance? I love that that's kind of funny. It's a kind of an in. But, yeah, I didn't get it.
Oh, it's Al Leong, not Tony Leong. Al Leong.
Al Leong.
You'd know his face any day of the week.
Would I? But, yeah.
Yeah,
Mick
and
Fleetwood.
did you know that...
And the little guy is Frank Zappa's son or something.
Dweezil Zappa.
Dweezil. Is that a name? That's not his name. It is. Dweezil Zappa.
It is when you're Frank Zappa. You can name your kid anything.
Yeah, that's true if you're Frank Zappa. Yeah. But yeah, don't get why Frank Zappa.
There's such odd... Because it's stunt casting.
Yeah.
But there's such odd choices of stunt casting.
It is weird,
It's not like anyone's going to go, oh, hey, Mick Fleetwood.
Because he's clearly got so much prosthetics
He's got
on.
makeup and he's wearing beards and long hair. Yeah. And nobody's picking Dweezil Zappa out of a lineup.
His hair does look like his dad's, though.
But you'd kind of go, oh, that kid kind of looks like Frank Zappa. You'd never assume.
You wouldn't think that.
It's just such a weird...
It is weird, isn't it?
It is weird. Stunt casting.
But yeah.
So much shit happens in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, you've got you got the helicopter thing, you've got him in prison, and you've got him at the resistance, and you've got him leaving. That all happens in 15 minutes.
I know. And more movies should pay attention.
Let's get shit done, man.
Let's get it done.
Do you know what, though? Then it hits the brakes.
It does, unfortunately. Brakes. It does. Where we get our introduction into our only female character. Our only female? Oh, no, there's another one in the boss's secretary thing.
The secretary with no conscience. It's just awful.
She's terrible. But yeah, she was good.
Yeah, and look...
Maria Conchita Alonso.
She is not... No, it's not that she's not. Oh, she's not great.
She's all right.
She's fine in that role.
She does best with what
she's
she
so
has.
unnecessary.
Exactly.
And if anything, just drags down the kind of the momentum of it, because as soon as she gets thrown into the Running Man game, it becomes like this.
Okay.
You know,
yeah.
We've got to now look after, because they make her out to be pretty useless.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't really hold her own very well.
Well, this is early 80s, Tys.
And so
women were weak back then.
Well, this is what I mean. It's kind of like, well, if you're gonna throw her in there, have her kick some ass or something. Like, she gets a gun at the end.
She's not Sigourney Weaver, unfortunately.
No,
so.
True.
Or Sarah Connor. She's not.
Imagine Sarah Connor in The Running Man.
She would rock it. That'd be badass.
There's a good chunk because that goes for like 25 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we get to The Running Man till about 45 minutes into the movie.
Oh, really?
Which I think Ben Richards gets sent into, so once he gets into the thing,
it's hour 40.
I think it's at least 45 minutes into the film, which is disappointing.
Okay.
Because really, that whole, and it's almost inefficient that he has to get arrested twice as well. Because
isn't it?
They already have him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But then at the same time, you're like, well, he has to meet the resistance. But I'm
That's
like,
true.
I could have just heard about the resistance.
But
It could just be this existent force.
Exactly.
Everyone's like whispers about the resistance, man. It's there, it's around.
Which would have made it so much better. And the reveal at the end was Mick Fleetwood. Yeah.
Because he doesn't care anyway. Like, I actually found that we're jumping ahead a little bit, but I actually found that kind of refreshing that while his other two mates who were big in the resistance, were kind of like, we have to get this tower, we have to do this thing, and he's like, let's just get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's leave. Why are we sticking around?
Don't worry about that shit.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I found kind of cool, because they're not trying to make him out to be like this. He really begrudgingly kind of says, "All right,
fine, we'll do it." Exactly. Yeah, he's not the hero who's going to fix everything, sort of thing. He doesn't really want to take down the people.
Yeah, and it takes until
the big
it almost he almost only wants to do it just to piss off the main guy.
The main guy, exactly. And you get that. Yeah.
So I had to check, because
go on.
His name's Killian, and I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding. And I went to the book, and his name's Killian in the book.
Oh.
That's got to be like a placeholder name that they just went with.
Killian.
Surely. Killian.
Damon Killian. That's bad.
It's like...
And because they don't call him Damon, they rarely call him Damon in the movie. They call him Killian. Yeah.
It's like, just Deathian or, Devilmanian.
Yeah.
Like, they're not...
It's not making it subtle. It's kicking you in the face.
It's absolutely kicking you in the face.
Yeah.
What do you think of Killian?
I liked him, and I did a bit of research. This is literally his only film.
Well,
am I correct by that?
Because
he's a game show. He literally is a game show host, and you know what? Hat off to him, Richard Dawson. He
hosted The Price is Right for many years.
Yeah, that you stepped up and did, he did a bad guy really well.
He was great.
Really
effective.
You really disliked him from the get-go when you saw him and he fires that poor janitor.
Oh, the janitor that he didn't even do anything.
He didn't even do anything. He was just doing his job. Job. Terrible. But yeah, he was just doing his job, and he gets fired, and that's why you're kind of like, okay, this guy's a bit of an arsehole, and then further on he dislikes everyone, and he's there just for the ratings, and he treats people like shit, and he was great. I did love him. I thought he did a great job.
He was really
job,
really effective.
But yeah, starting with the start of The Running Man, Tys, one of my favorite, and it's still my favorite bits, is you don't realize when Arnie gets when he gets taken out, and our guest runner is the Butcher of Bakersfield,
yes.
Ben Richards, and he comes out and it's like a wrestling entrance. I love wrestling, so
sure.
I love that there's smoke and the fact that there's let's go back just a little bit before that. The fact that they have dancing girls at the start of the
dance routine. I wanted to mention this.
I love it. And they do the full thing, Tys.
But this is
full,
for a movie
that 80s. The hair is
so
massive.
much information into the first 15 minutes.
And then it takes a screeching halt.
Like halts.
Yeah.
Even to the point where it's like, yeah, we can fit this whole dance routine in.
Yeah, we'll put the whole dance routine in.
Let's shorten that whole section and let's flesh out the runners a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I can't even fucking Sully. Is Sully one of them? No.
No.
What are the other two runners' names?
Laughlin and Weiss. Is it Laughlin and Weiss?
Weiss. I remember Weiss.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other guy's name.
Laughlin.
Because they don't get enough.
They
don't get any kind of meat to make you feel anything for them when they're in there.
I know, but I think that you get that while you're in there. The fact that they were kind of a surprise because you didn't think that they had anything to do with the story.
No,
you were like, oh, okay, well they're gone, they're mates, and he'll see them later.
Yeah, it could have like.
I know.
Just from all I'm not asking for 5 more minutes maybe.
Bring it on. But yeah, how good was it? Leotards and massive, big teased up hairspray hair.
Okay, that section led me to this question that I wanted to ask.
Sure.
What do you think is preferable?
Yep.
Do you reckon it's more preferable to have a stab at the future and get it wrong?
Yep.
Like, so we could have, we're making a movie now and we're going to go, well, let's go 2040.
Right.
And have a stab at what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Or do you reckon it's worse to just take your culture currently,
what is it now,
and turn it up to a bazillion? Because I feel like they just went, let's just take the 80s
and
the excesses of the 80s,
yep,
and just use that as the future.
Because
other than that, there aren't a lot of attempts to be futuristic.
Yeah, that's true.
They just kind of take 80s extreme.
And the one that comes to mind straight away was when the girls are getting a drink out of the vending machine, and it costs like
$7 or something. I'm like, yeah, that's
a cup
close.
of coffee. Yeah. That's a cup of coffee in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but what you're saying though, I do agree. But I if I were to make a film now, I would just amp up what we've got to 11 and have it run, because I think that you're gonna get it closer to what it is. Does that make sense? And in that sense, looking back on the film, then people will maybe have a laugh. Oh, isn't that funny? You know, they've got an 80s.
I suppose it does end up having a nostalgic kind of value to it. But then you get a film like, when I think of like a really creative demonstration of future, I always think of Minority Report.
Oh, beautiful.
Because I think it did take the current culture, but it took really kind of big leaps into what that would turn into. Yeah. Like the bit that I remember really well is when he gets into the mall. When he's chasing someone through the mall, and they scan his eyeballs, and he has no say. He has the personalized shopping experience from them, and they say, because we're essentially that. Our computers. If we have a conversation now, I've got my computer here. Exactly. If I had that always on Siri thing, and I said, "Oh, hey man, I think I might. You know what I really want to buy? I want to buy a caravan. I want to go caravanning around."
Tyson.
Next time on Facebook, I would see the ads for it. So we're pretty close to that, and that was just. But back in it was 2002 or 2003. Yeah, we would have thought that was ridiculous. You know, we could. It was
close. Yeah,
but it's close. So those kind of, I really dig those attempts. Yeah, I don't feel like this made any attempts. I think it basically just went. Well, this is 80s, but let's put fucking more sequins and let's make their hair higher. Yeah, and more neon. You know, more sparkle. Yeah. Like they didn't actually...
They didn't give it a shot.
They didn't actually try to kind of assume the culture.
It was the 80s.
Aside from the poor people and the resistance kind of style of stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, going back to what I was going to say, the entrance of Ben Richards, one of my favourite bits is how they just... They rip off the white cover of clothing that he has, and he has the gold jumpsuit, the running suit that he's in.
Yeah,
I love
a tearaway.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yellow is not his colour. I'm going to say as well.
Yellow. No one suits yellow.
It was such a weird colour choice.
No one suits yellow. I hate yellow.
I find the colour palette of this film generally a bit strange.
It was a bit weird, wasn't it? Especially the set.
I was about to say, the
It was
set
like the orange and
looks
white.
awful.
Yeah.
Like the Running Man set itself just looks cheap.
Yeah.
And it does. And I'm like, well, it wouldn't if this is the biggest show of all time. I feel like, I mean, obviously,
budget.
Well, it was probably not a huge budget. But yeah, it's some really odd color choices.
Yeah.
Even the ones that the other two guys wear
the silver. Oh, it's
better.
almost. No, I think it's worse.
Oh, you reckon that's worse?
Yeah.
Then they're not flattering at all.
Because I like the fact that one arm of Arnold's is grey and you don't notice it because of the shots, but yeah, it looks pretty awesome apart from the yellow. Here's a question for you, because I wanted to question you because this is your film. This is your film, and I tried to think of questions for you because you drilled me. With Die Hard.
Which is how I'm going to do this next week.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I know you can't do it next week. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh no, we'll talk about. We'll talk about that later.
Who was your favorite? I'm going to say Gladiator. Is it
Stalker?
Stalker.
They were called.
Sorry, but it's such a clear rip off Gladiators.
Yeah, I think it was pre-American Gladiators existing. Really? I think this inspired the
Gladiators.
Show. They were like, oh, we should make this fucking a real thing.
How good was Gladiators though? Did you watch Gladiators?
Yeah, I watched it.
Who didn't watch Gladiators?
Vulcan.
My favorite was Taipan. He had the cool straight hair.
I was about to say, did he have really long straight hair?
Yeah. He looked weird. He was the weird looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't trust him.
I feel
Vulcan was the nice one.
Well,
you could hug Vulcan.
Yeah, I feel like Vulcan has had a career and stuff, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went on to do, I'm pretty sure he was in Barbed Wire, the Pamela Anderson film.
Well, then you've made it. That's it. How could you
Hollywood.
make it any higher than that?
Let me check though, but I'm not sure. But anyway, let's ask. Come on, Tys. Who is your favorite and why? Come on.
Look, I wrote down.
Oh,
I was writing this down, and I was like, "Stalkers are just fat guys?" Question mark.
No,
because they
were
fat
huge.
Dudes.
They were huge,
and they're not. Okay, Sub-Zero.
Go on.
No, not Sub-Zero. Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw for me is the only one that completely works.
Looks okay. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because his thing is just motorbike, chainsaw. He's built like a brick shit house.
Yep.
He doesn't really have like any dumb,
stupid gimmick. Yeah.
He's just there to cut shit up with his chainsaw. He works for me.
Okay. Why doesn't Sub-Zero work? Because you need ice?
Sub-Zero is second on my list for sure.
Yeah.
Because I think he can be effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dynamo is ridiculous.
I know.
What is Dynamo?
And he's so good. I love that he's so ridiculous.
Who thinks? Okay, so
go for it. Yeah.
We've used We've used the razor sharp ice hockey guy.
Yep.
We've used the chainsaw guy. Do you know what we need now? We need the fucking opera singer.
Opera singer who can fire bolts out of his arms and is lit up like a fucking Christmas tree.
That's what I've got. So I've got Dynamo. Opera? ? Light suit? His little car?
I love his car. I love his car.
And I've got that he was defeated by a hill.
He wasn't he? He was so defeated by a hill. He just rolls up and then goes, oh no, I didn't make this. I'm just going to pass out.
It's like when you're a little kid and you don't quite make it up a hill on your bike. And you're like, oh shit,
and just bail. But he didn't. He was in a car, so he couldn't. And he was huge. He was fat. He wasn't bulky. See, that's the thing. Sub-Zero and Buzzsaw kind of look, they look meaty though. They look like they'd lift something
definitely.
Up. Is it Electro? It's Electro.
Dynamo.
Oh, Dynamo.
What is it?
What a stupid name for starters. Dynamo doesn't look like he could lift anything. He looks like he could lift a mean cheesecake, but that's about it.
Definitely. The process of the fork
was so funny.
Plate to mouth.
So good. But I love you know what? I liked it. I like him because Sub-Zero is quite serious. He's a bit serious and kind of scary, where Buzzsaw is the quintessential American gladiator. Like he is, lifting up motorbikes and all that stuff.
Yeah, and he's constantly got the face.
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
time.
Yeah, and then Dynamo has he's an opera singer. It's so left field that it works. Can that Can that be a thing?
Look, it
He's
is
an opera
unique
singer.
and it is unexpected.
Exactly.
But
does it work?
I don't think it works.
I think it kind of does on a little bit.
And
because
then,
he's just that fucking weird. You're
and
like,
to-
who
well,
is
and
scared
to-
of this
Okay,
arsehole?
but do you know what? That's the question that I think a lot of people ask.
Yeah.
Do you feel like maybe they tried to then compensate for that towards the end by just making him a flat out rapist?
Oh, which was bad.
And you're just like, oh,
this took a turn. What
it
the
took
fuck?
a turn.
Yeah.
It took a fucking turn.
Because I kind of like that it happens. That happens after Killian offers. He goes, okay, this isn't working out so well for us. Let's computer animate.
Well, we haven't even had a chance to mention.
I know. No, wait. I'll come back. I'll come back to it.
Okay.
But yeah, tying in the fact that Gillian offers Arnold Schwarzenegger a job as a stalker.
He wants him to be one of the
So
stalkers.
clearly, in my head, goes, well, maybe Dynamo was a gay, like a person at one point. A bad guy, or maybe because he just pulls from the gene pool of deadbeat fucks,
or
okay, criminals.
That's an
that
interesting...
maybe that he goes, well, we need some stalkers. How about we get this fat rapist who can
hold a tune,
who can hold a mean tune, man. He can hold a mean tune. You know, maybe they just did that, or someone that's expendable or something like that. But my favorite, Tys, stalker is Fireball.
Fireball. Good old Fireball.
Fireball, man. Seriously.
Yeah, he's not really effective, is he? Like,
He's got a jetpack.
he's got a jetpack, though.
He's got a jetpack.
I do love
and a
that bit.
flamethrower.
But see, this to me
And a mohawk.
is the...
No? Yes?
well, he's got like a flat top. He's got like, but
flat
it's
top.
got some white bits through it and stuff.
I love that. How good is that?
So he was like he's a famous NFL footballer.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
you know, obviously American culture stuff we didn't know.
We didn't get...
I think from the 70s. So he was stunt casting as well, really. And there's fucking tons of it in this.
Yep.
Is it weird that he's really the only... Like, he actually has an effective weapon.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the other ones, it's kind of like...
We're talking about chainsaw. You can take that on.
Yeah,
but it's a short range.
It's
weapon,
very
is that what
short
you're saying?
range.
Yeah.
Dynamo's got some electric bolts, but they don't seem like that
That's
they're
awesome.
very...
Come on.
You can't really control the direction of them. He kind of just points his arm out and hopes for the best.
hopes for the best, yeah.
And I do like that Sub-Zero has explosive pucks. But that,
How good is
that's
that?
dependent on you being quite skillful as an ice hockey player.
Well, come on, he was, he held his own.
Well, it's forcing me to have this whole backstory in my head where he's like an Olympic ice skater.
And isn't the
He's
movie good
huge,
for
though,
doing
so
that?
maybe, I don't know, maybe
I doubt it.
Maybe a goalie? Maybe it was a
doubt
goalie.
it very much. That man is way too big to be any kind of hockey player. He's
built some skills, is what I'm saying. He's really built some skills up.
Yeah. But yeah.
So here's a question.
Yep.
Sub-Zero, spoiler alert for Running Man.
If you haven't seen Running Man,
it was
you
1987.
suck.
It was 30 years ago.
We
Sub-Zero dies.
He does.
Everybody in the place treats it like it's never happened before.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
What usually happens for the rest of the 3-hour show?
They have wouldn't they have just another? He would have like a. No, he would have like a conveyor belt of contestants.
Is that what happens?
I think maybe. I don't know. To be honest,
that's never suggested. It seems to me like, because the way that they're trying to hunt for good runners, like it's a big deal. They're like, oh, let's get the butcher of Bakersfield.
That's true.
It seems to me like it's one per show.
I don't think maybe the person just runs and you can run away, because if you get out of the ice section, is that Sub-Zero done?
Oh, is he just allowed is he not allowed to follow you anymore after that?
I don't know, maybe. Or maybe it's Buzzsaw's turn because you go into Buzzsaw's arena. I love that in the movie they said, oh, this is quadrant 4 and quadrant 5. How the fuck do you know where you are? Piss off. Yeah, I hated that. That. There were little things in there that really pissed me off.
Well, because for me, that's interesting. Because I was under the impression where I was like,
they don't explain it very well, Tys.
It must be. They must churn out other runners. They must have sparesies for when people get killed. But then also, that's also the thing. If they get so excited about these stalkers, that's only one per show that really gets a run.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it flashes back to the change room.
Yeah.
And there's like 20 of them all like showering and getting ready.
Here in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of excitement. Oh, so Jesse Ventura, you're a badass, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't like to hang shit on these, but I had some questions.
Yeah, you like to poke holes. You're a hole poker, aren't you?
Only because it's where my brain goes when I'm watching a film like this, because I'm having a really good time and then something like that happens and I go,
see, I'm not like that.
But then I move on. Yeah. But it just now because I'm writing them down,
now that you have
I
a
get
podcast,
to keep them forever.
Fair deal. Okay.
What else? So I want to make sure I've finished. I've got a few other things, but I want to make sure we've finished
the stalker section.
Like just having a rundown before I pick some shit on it. Can we talk about Captain Freedom?
Captain Freedom.
Who obviously you're a big fan of. Bit of Jesse Ventura action.
Who doesn't love Jesse the Body Ventura?
Yeah, look, he's I never watched the golden era of wrestling. Is this what you're poking at? Yeah.
So I was a 90s kid of wrestling, so it was DX for me and all that stuff. But yeah, I know who he was, and I've loved him since the day Dad showed me Predator at an
time to bleed.
Too early age. Yeah. But I love Jesse the Body Ventura, and I love just the subtle things with him in The Running Man. The fact that it's just a social talk on steroids in sports. Like they have that little wink to that. They kind of say to that with him, taking pills. I think that's twice that he does it. And then Killian mentions, why don't you, go on some steroids? To both of them, I think. That's to
the security guard, Sven Olsen, which is
who's just Arnold's
mate, who pops up in all his movies. Yeah,
but I do love it, and his outfit, Captain Freedom's
when he comes in with I love that he's just like cracking the shits. Like, what is this?
I don't want to wear this thing, and he can't even move his thumb up to his thing, and. Most of me wants for him to just go, please, I want you to wear whatever they've got you wearing and to jump in.
I love that the production designer of the film didn't even try to make it look like something that he might have to wear.
Exactly.
Like at no point could he ever wear that.
No. They literally put like a toaster on his arm. But
then again, they did make Dynamo wear that fucking light suit.
so good. I love Dynamo's light suit. And his glowing mohawk. He was the one who had the mohawk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's true.
So good.
I liked Captain Freedom. Freedom.
We're all over the shop.
Because he was doing something a little interesting. Like, he has this bit where he has this kind of conversation about how he wants death and honor, and he finds real kind of like... He has pride in the game.
Yeah.
Like, where Killian is obviously just in it for the bucks and manipulating... like the viewers to just basically
ratings,
get the ratings up.
Exactly.
Captain Freedom has this real kind of sense of like he is the gladiator style. He sees the glory in it, and I don't think he sees like ironically either. Like he's on board.
He's all for it. Yeah.
And I actually was kind of like that's really interesting to me. I was like, he should be in this movie more because that is a really it's the yin and yang to that. Like which
that instead of taking the reality TV at the ratings and the money and all of that side, he's taking it. Well, if you are going to do a reality television show, why not do it serious and have it, man on man.
He just wants to. Yeah, he doesn't. You can tell he doesn't like the gimmicks and you don't really like what happens to him. Like
you don't see anything.
You don't see anything. There are a few loose ends at the end of this movie that just kind of you just go.
I think he goes off to do more exercise tapes, which is what I loved.
No pain, no gain.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Because maybe, see, this is the thing. I have to assume that he was so pissed that he wasn't allowed to actually fight Ben. And he had to fight a stuntman that they then put the face on.
Is that what that was? Was that not just the start of computer animated... No.
So the way that it's designed is that they simulate the fight with a stuntman and then put a face on, because there's the bit at the end where the female executive goes, "Oh Jesus, Killian, you didn't have to murder the guy."
Oh, I thought they were talking about Arnold in that part.
No, because remember, and the face changes and it changes back to the stuntman guy. So I reckon
I thought
he's
that was
done
all
that.
computer animated.
I would love to see the scene after that where he takes off the whatever.
Takes off the thing,
and
goes,
he's
"That's it, Killian.
It's the last thing I'm doing.
done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Give me my money. I'm out of here. This is
no
ridiculous."
Glory.
Wow.
That's what I have to assume happened.
Yeah.
Which I would have liked to have
That
seen.
would have been amazing to
worked.
see. Yeah, that would have been totally awesome.
Yeah, good character.
Yeah.
Wasted.
I
Jesse
know.
Ventura.
Jesse the body. I know. He was through it. You know, he was in there throughout. But yeah,
he does pop up, but he's mostly
wasn't
just there for gags.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a question for you, Ty.
Yes, go
Are you
ask
ready?
away. Yeah, you fucking betcha.
Okay. Tyson,
Yes.
what does getting the uplink code actually fucking do?
Oh, okay. Good point.
And oh no, I've got to follow up, but keep going.
So the uplink code
Yes.
gives them access to all the satellites. So they have, if they enter the uplink code at the the master switch kind of thing, it's all gobbledygook.
Right.
If they do that there, they then have control over the broadcast.
Okay.
So they need that code to control the broadcast.
Okay. How does that help the resistance? How does shutting off the reality television that everyone plugs into, how does that help?
Do you know what's funny is because I'm sure they had a reason for it, but then they just give up and say, "Oh, do you know what? Let's just show the footage of Richards actually not murdering people."
Yeah.
Like, what were they going to show before that?
Yeah, exactly.
It was obviously
if they didn't have that footage, what the fuck are they doing?
They have like a little short film prepared where it was
maybe.
they had, and one of the resistance guys was like, "Fuck, my film was really good, man. Now you're just showing this shit." Like,
yeah,
I worked really hard on that.
It was done by Zappa's kid.
Zappa's kid.
Yeah,
That's why he's like, "Don't touch that dial" when he busts through the door.
Oh god, that's terrible. God, that's so bad and so 80s.
Do you know what I thoroughly enjoy the fact that it's like when Weiss is talking to Maria Conchita,
yep,
and is like, remember this code, and it's like 40 numbers long, and she's like, "Yeah, I got it, I got it." Like, you haven't got shit. You're not gonna remember
774, as if
you can't remember that. I couldn't remember it. I've seen this movie like 6 times.
I know, seriously. I know that there's 2 sevens in the end. That's all
no,
I
because
know.
there's a 7 and then a 17.
Seven. Oh, that's right.
Or something.
17,
Or a
17, 4. Yeah, that's right.
And she's like, 17. It's like, no
17.
17.
Yeah, and then he dies by lightning bolt.
Then he
by
gets
dynamite.
zapped. Absolutely zapped.
Yeah,
Hey, I've got a
awesome.
question for you, man.
Oh, go for it.
What's going on with the betting among the people?
I have no idea. I have never known.
Do you know
When people put up money and they put 100 and they grab the money and give him a ticket, I'm like, what kind
How
of
are you
system do
monitoring
we
this?
have this? Yeah. How are we getting, who's getting paid here? Like, oh, it's very confusing.
Who's getting what?
Who's getting
when
what?
That kid
Where
comes
is this
back with
cash
that, with
coming
that
from?
Ticket. And what does he do you just take it on word and
Exactly.
go, "Yeah, I've got a winning ticket.
I got you. I saw you
Oh,
before.
yeah, that's right. You gave me $100." And
How does that work?
because every time I watch this in these movies, whenever it's like group betting,
Yeah.
like let's say for
Yeah,
instance,
yeah,
I'll go with
you.
something like a favorite of mine,
Yep.
Bloodsport.
Oh, nice one.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I've got to watch
Well, you've
that
got all these guys sitting there with the cash, just going, "Yeah, this guy," and these guys are just grabbing money.
I know.
They're just grabbing it and they're like, "Yep,
Yeah.
gotcha," and
Yeah.
no more bets,
No more bets. Bets off.
I'm like, you can't monitor that shit.
Who the fuck who's
You
got to
got-
bet on who?
that's it.
How
You
do you know who's going to win?
Exactly.
Oh.
This guy's giving you a 20. This guy's giving you 100. You're offering these odds on this guy, this odds on this guy's. No one's
What the-
keeping tabs on that. I'm not seeing anyone with like even a pad and paper.
Exactly.
writing
You've
shit
got your
down.
chalkboard, but what the fuck does that do?
Well,
like,
that-
are
no,
you
that
writing
doesn't-
people's
all
names
that
down?
does is give the odds for
Exactly.
the stalkers. Shambles.
Totally up in the air.
I want to see one day. Like,
I would like to know. I would legitimately like to know if you are listening to this. Please write us in. If you are a bookie of any, tell me how it
I've been to the
works.
races. I know how bookies work, man. They're very detailed.
Exactly.
And if 2 people talk at once, they're like, hey, one at a time.
Exactly. What the hell,
That's all I want to see in one of
don't
these
get it.
movies is just the guy just crack the sads and be like, look, if we
I'm
just
done.
an orderly line, you'll each get your chance.
An orderly line.
Just
If we could all line up on the left, and
okay,
yeah.
I'm taking bets for Richards on my left. If you want to bet for a stalker, you can go over to David. He'll help you out. That's David Wave.
David has a green visor
the
on.
visor.
He's got the visor. Hello, sir. How are you?
Yes, I
Who
can
are you
help
betting
you.
on? Yeah, that's terrible. It is. It's a shambles.
It's such a shambles. Such a
It is
shambles.
good.
Are you ready for my favorite moments of this film?
Oh, go for it.
Okay.
I have many.
All right, well, let's go one for one.
Okay.
Mine are all like hilarious shit things.
Yeah. You got the puns, the Arnie puns. Go.
Oh God, the Arnie line. I haven't even thought about the Arnie lines.
How good is it?
They're great. They're great. But I don't even know. I'm not even sure I know what any of them mean.
Oh. Yeah,
What does it mean?
Where's Buzzsaw? Oh, he really had to split.
I mean, we get that because
Yeah.
he cut him in half with a chainsaw, so he split. What does he say? Here's Sub-Zero now.
Plain Zero.
Plain Zero.
I don't get that one.
What does that mean?
I think that's just an Arnie. Arnie, say something. And action. Here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plain Zero. Do you know what I love, though?
What?
After that line, it is one of... Now, I'm not a huge high five person, Tys. I don't
Sure.
high five at all. I don't like to do it. But that is one of the best low fives I've ever seen between him and Arnold and Yaphet Kyoto.
Yaphet Kyoto, yeah.
Crack.
Oh, it's a good one, isn't it?
It was... Oh, there was like an echo to it and everything. So good. So good.
No, I'm on board for that.
I love it.
I can't even. Oh man, I think I stopped caring about the one-liners because I'm like, it's just Arnie. It's Arnie doing his thing. He's at his peak, and
that's all he has to do.
And like hey Killian, and the whole movie stops for him to say I'll be back.
I know that was so chucked in. Why did they do that?
Well, they did that in every film.
No,
for
but
so long.
I think that's the only "I'll be back" that doesn't work for me. In the collective of Arnold Schwarzenegger films, that is the "I'll be back" that doesn't work.
I'd have to go to the.
You'd have to go
to the tape to check.
The tape to check.
I don't think it doesn't work.
No,
I just hear every
works.
time I hear it, I just kind of go, oh, okay, there it is again. At least he does
but some
come back.
work.
Sometimes he doesn't even come back. Sometimes he says it, but it never happens. I'm just glad.
Was it in Eraser? I think Eraser is really underrated.
I've seen it once.
Yeah,
and I
need to buy that. JB Hi-Fi, I'm coming for you. I need my Eraser.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about it recently. But yeah, really? What movie doesn't he come back in? Really? He doesn't come back in one? I'll be back.
I'm gonna have to do some research. Because if you are if you asked me and I said, if I listed off 5 films right now without having any idea if it actually occurs, I reckon in 4 of them he says I'll be back.
Oh, really?
Like it was just it was the thing in the 80s and 90s.
Well,
he
you
said
gotta
it.
have a catchphrase, man.
Yeah, I get it. It was his catchphrase, but no one cared about the context for so long. They were just like, say Arnold, say the line, say the line, say the line, and he's like, all right, I'll do it. I don't know if it's going to make sense.
No, he doesn't
fine.
care. He's
He
getting
doesn't care.
paid
He's getting paid.
billions.
He's having a good time.
Yeah.
Smoking cigars.
Exactly.
And hanging out with good-looking ladies. That's all he wants to do with his life.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Yeah, what was your favourite?
The puns and things, they're classic Arnie. It's fine. It's fine. We all know what he was capable of. He loved a one-liner. Do you want to know my favourite thing?
Go for it.
There was a poster in Killian's office.
Yes.
For what I assume was his most successful television show prior to The Running Man.
I remember seeing it. What was it?
The Hate Boat. And it's so beautiful because to me...
What is the poster of? I don't remember it anymore.
It's just a cruise ship.
It's just a cruise ship.
And it says in big text, The Hate Boat.
Is it pink writing like the love boat?
It's the same
Jesus
font, I
Christ.
think.
That's terrible.
And I'm like, I find it's so lovely that somebody went, oh, hey, like, let's find what's like a funny play on the Love Boat, and the intern was like, I don't know, the Hate Boat, and then it's like, let's do it. We're out of time. Print it.
Print it. Go. Hurry up, will you? You intern, go. What are you getting paid for? I'm not getting paid. Well, do it anyway.
Do it. Go. A2. A2.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, it's great.
One of my favorite bits, Tys, which I'm going to ask you, which is so hilarious because there have been way worse reality TV shows like this, especially in Japan. If you've watched any Japan,
I think this is mine as well.
Is it jumping for dollars? No, climbing for dollars. Literally put a rope in the middle of a room that is closed off, put money at certain sections of the rope, and then have massive Rottweilers bite at you. What happened to that guy?
But this is another thing. Like the show, so it goes, welcome back to Climbing for Dollars. It goes for 15 seconds.
And then stop.
And Climbing for Dollars will be right back. I'm like, is this a show?
Did that guy just die? Did that guy just get mauled on fucking television?
How many contestants
that
do they
guy
go?
Is dead.
And it's not even like it was a wad, but come on, man. Like I'd want 100,000 at least.
Yeah, but you haven't seen the top. You got to get to the top. That's
so
the thing.
There's more money as you go up.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Would you go on Climbing for Dollars,
No,
Tyson?
I don't think
How
I
is
would.
your repelling abilities?
Yeah, I don't think that'd be any good.
No.
Did the rope have knots in it?
No.
No.
You get nothing. You get nothing. You get arm strength, and that is it.
I'm not getting up that rope. But this is okay. So that kind of led me into the whole satire thing because it's trying to do RoboCop.
Yeah.
But it's funny because RoboCop is the same year.
That's true. And
so there's a chance that they didn't even
know about each other. It's the same year.
That they didn't see. He didn't see RoboCop.
Well, Michael Glazier?
Yeah.
It didn't really go on to direct. He's not a... This is... I'd be pretty
he's
sure...
a TV guy. Well, he's Starsky or Hutch. He's one of them from the TV show.
Yeah.
From the 70s.
Oh, right. He's one of the... Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't... This is probably his first major motion picture.
He had something else, but it wasn't super successful. It's easily his most well-known film.
Exactly.
So he's no Verhoeven.
Yeah.
Like
Verhoeven? No,
absolutely.
That's true.
So you can see that the attempts were there, but they were just so clumsy. And
it was just not, not
let's compare that to the Battleship game in RoboCop.
Oh, I love that ad.
Yeah,
how good is that?
It's kind of got similar energy. It's obviously not as it doesn't have like the full death at the end of it, but it has that same kind of that same energy.
Yeah.
It feels like that's what they're trying to achieve with this. Or let's even go Starship Troopers when he did an even similar thing, like a kind of more.
Would you like to know more?
Would you like to know more? Exactly. Yeah. Those feel like what Climbing for Dollars is trying to do, but just can't. But they don't have the skill to do it.
I still love Climbing for Dollars.
I love it.
Though.
It makes me laugh.
I
so
really
much.
do because it's so quick and in and out, and that's it.
And
the pause where it pauses.
Yes. It's like My Kitchen Rules all over. It's like it's the moment of lifting the fucking the top of the dish.
I hate how they do that.
But it's the same thing, and it spirals on from Hate Boat. Is that it's like their first idea.
Yeah.
It's someone's first idea.
That's true.
They didn't have a chance to say, yeah, okay, you're on the right track. Yeah, climbing a rope, dogs. Yeah, what else? Come on.
Do we have anything else? No, sorry, Tyce, your deadline's up.
Exactly.
Sorry, man. We'll just go climb for dollars. Someone get a rope quick.
Yeah, this needed to be in costuming half an hour ago, so we've got to do this.
We've got to shoot it. We're running out of daylight.
Yeah.
We're in a studio.
Exactly.
Shut up, you. Okay? Calm down, intern. What is your name?
No, it's Killian firing the janitor.
That's what it is.
No, it's fine. It's totally
fine.
Don't
it's totally
stress.
fine. It's totally fine.
If
that kid's working here tomorrow, I tell you what.
Which hurts the film though. I feel like because it means that it's obviously because these weren't thought through.
No,
you don't get that opportunity,
a bit rushed, doesn't it?
And then every now and then there's these little gems. Like I wrote down, one of the news reporters, when they were giving a story about someone being arrested, talks about how they have been sent to re-education.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, tell me more about this re-education.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That's some really interesting world building.
Yeah.
That I could possibly use a little bit more
re-education.
He's gone for re-education. Like my imagination builds what that potentially is.
Yeah.
But to me,
it's not good.
elements of that are more interesting than the bad attempts at the social satire. There was another bit as well. Someone mentioned something about network propaganda.
Yes, I remember that.
And I'm like, this is great. I want to know more about
that.
The manipulation of the television
stuff.
stuff.
They don't really go into it, do they?
They just kind of let it exist, but then they try...
They make you, they kind of let you set it up for yourself, whatever it is.
Which is
they
great,
give you a hint,
but if things like Climbing for Dollars and Hate Boat were more sophisticated...
it would have really
care.
hit the mark.
It would have really hit the mark. That would have created a total world. But instead, we're stuck in this point where I can see the glimmers of really
the
effective...
future that you want to see.
Yeah, the really effective future creation.
Yeah.
Which is just hurt by these, like, 6th grade kids going, no, it's not Love Boat, it's Hate Boat.
Yeah.
Get it?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I get it.
I got
it, man.
Yeah, there's not much to get there.
Yeah. So it's just kind of, it's disappointing. It's
totally true.
Because I just think it could be on, like, RoboCop levels, really.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. What else? What other bullshit?
I was just thinking before of how we said about the fake media. There's quite a few sections of that. Like when going back to when Arnold gets captured at the airport. And then he gets reported on how he supposedly killed a lot of people on the way out. And the female character goes, "Oh, that didn't happen." I was like, "Wow, this is a little close to the bone, isn't it?"
Well, that's more of that. That's more of that shit like where it was just like,
yeah,
we're obviously not at that level yet. We're not at a point where the news network is basically just
give Fox
saying,
News a while, and I'm sure that they'll, seriously. It's not funny. I know it's not funny, Tys, but
it's not funny. But I mean, we're almost there. We had fucking Kellyanne Conway making up a massacre.
God,
making up a massacre.
Yeah.
So it's essentially the same thing, I guess.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
see, Jesus Christ.
Do you know what I found funny?
Yeah.
Just because if I keep talking about this, I'm going to be so depressed.
Yeah.
I found it funny that when she went snooping in the file cabinets,
the
files were all like labeled almost conveniently for thieves.
Yes.
It was
like so bad.
It was like,
and the fact she just,
they might as well have just said, this is what you're looking for. The secret footage is here.
Secret footage. Oh, here it is here.
Yeah. It was like something dumb
edited
like...
footage.
It was that was edited and re-edited. Yeah. Or unedited.
Unedited, yeah. Raw footage. Fuck off.
It was so good. And
As
then all she had to do was go through like 2 things and she found Ben Richards straight away.
And it's the first file she opens.
The first thing.
There's like 8 there. Oh.
I'm like, how long this show? How long has this show been running for? Surely she has to go through a bunch of files. Surely there's security. Surely there's not someone sitting there going, oh, hey, you know that footage that could get us in a whole shitload of trouble?
What is the need for keeping the raw footage though?
Get it gone.
Oh,
don't leave it next to the other stuff, and don't leave it in a filing cabinet that anyone can just go
straight after the edited one that you find. Oh, here it is. It's all right. I've got clearance, so I get to look at the found footage. You don't.
Exactly. Oh, bless
terrible.
This movie. I feel like it's like I want to pat it on the back.
Yeah.
You're like, man, it's such a good effort. You really tried. You were trying to do something.
It was good for its time, Tys. It would have been badass, man. You know.
I want to mention something.
Yeah.
Tell me how you feel about this.
Right,
there's a weird statement. Well, there's a weird moment where it turns out that Maria Conchita has had the footage
don't
on
say
her the whole time. And Arnold gives
Where
her
did
this
she hide
look.
it, Tys? That is a bit raw, isn't it? That's a bit... I was like, oh, okay.
Out of nowhere, it's just
are you
like...
telling me she hid it in her vagina?
Yep. She just had it right
in
up
her vagina?
Up there. Is that... look, I haven't done much smuggling in my day. Is that what happens?
Is that a thing?
Or did she just kind of...
Look, I've heard
hide it and then...
No, because she was stripped down naked and put into the Running Man jumpsuit.
So it was up her vagina.
So it was in her vagina. It was either that it was either that or in her underwear, which maybe they would have seen.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna.
But the problem is because Arnold gives her like a wink when he asks, and she does a bit of a don't ever you mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this movie's just trying to insinuate
that she put it in her vagina.
Right up in there.
But
she's quite active in that film. She's running around a lot.
She is.
She's doing quite physical activities.
That's true. What are you? Oh, you. Oh.
Like, how there's not a terrible accident?
Haven't? What? It's the
any
memory
point in
card
that?
that she's holding in her vagina has.
It's large too. It's kind of. It's like it's the old
large.
discs. It's the old 1/4-inch disc.
It's not what? It's not that big.
It's the save symbol disc. It's that kind of size. It's pretty close to that.
It's a little bit smaller than that.
Well,
it's a little
regardless,
bit
it's
so maybe she hid it in her underwear.
can't be comfortable.
Look, I'm going to say she hid it in her underwear.
For the sake of,
I'm going to say she didn't hide it in her vagina.
well, more it's okay.
but it's
irrelevant
insinuated
whether
that
she did or not.
Yeah.
I don't need this movie to add that plot point.
Why not?
What
That's
is it?
awesome.
Don't you? It's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
That she's like, here's the
It
disc.
is.
Yep.
Yep.
It was
Okay.
up there
It was
the
up
whole
there.
time.
Might want to.
But oh man,
No.
it's so dumb. There must have been a million ways they could have just
But to be, unfortunately,
gotten that information out there.
Yeah, it's the '80s showing its true self.
But that's what it's
where,
what it's
you know,
every now
women
and then you
stayed
watch
in
these movies and something just super 80s just takes you out of it and
It
you're like,
does,
oh
it
yep,
does. Yep.
that's how we treated women back in the 80s.
Yep, we didn't write them well.
We didn't
didn't
write them
know
well
what
at
we're
all.
doing, and we mentioned their vagina at least once.
At
in the
least
film.
once, yeah. And then there's the completely unearned pash between her and Arnold
which
at
is
the end of
why
the
they
film.
had her in there. Which is why they had that character in there.
Yeah.
They totally did, because back in those days, if you don't have a love interest, Tys, then you don't have anything. You don't have,
But they didn't even
you're
try
not
to
going to get
build
your female audience into
No.
Running Man.
I get that, but they didn't make any attempt in any other part of the film to have that.
No, exactly.
There wasn't like they didn't flirt, they didn't have any kind of
no
chemistry with each other.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
feel like we'd
whatever.
just if we ever because we're gonna obviously these are the movies that we grew up on, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about in these films. If we want to talk about the treatment of female characters in these films, we're
We
gonna
could
have
be
the same
here.
conversation every time.
We
I
are.
think.
We are.
It's very rare that
That's true.
that they're presented in a really positive light. I think you've got characters like Sarah Connor and Ripley that are these incredibly strong,
Pave the way.
yeah,
for these women.
strong and intelligent
Yeah.
and powerful female characters.
Yeah,
But really, other than that,
I know.
you don't get
It's
much. There's
terrible.
not much to
I'd
hang
like
your
to
hat
watch
on.
Maybe Red Sonja again.
It's
The
a
female
Piece
Conan.
of shit. It was on Stan on Netflix, and I tried to watch it. It's real bad.
I want to
Really
watch it
bad.
again though, just because I know it's bad. I'd want, yeah.
I don't even
Just
think
to,
it
just
does.
to give it a go.
Well, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't promote, like, it doesn't make the female character particularly
strong. Or,
well, I mean, she's the main character,
yeah,
but they throw Arnold in there because, well, we
Yeah.
can't just have a female lead.
yeah, exactly.
What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
Like,
cashing in on the Arnold. Conan 1 was good, and Conan 2 was good, and you know,
Yeah.
let's do another one with a female character this time.
that's it.
Yeah,
Well, anything else you want to say about Running Man?
we have bagged on it, but to be honest, I had an awesome time.
It's a blast.
still.
Like, it's an
I
absolute
really
blast to
did.
watch. And because because there are dumb elements to it, but the action is fun.
Exactly.
The story is engaging enough that you do get on board. Like,
yeah. And it kind of added, like, the fact that it is set in 2017 and we are closer to it rather than further from it,
Yes.
from what this future is depicted as. It kind of adds a little bit to it. You're like, oh
Yeah.
wow, okay, that's not
that's
far
true.
off. Okay, not great, but okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like big parts of it because that I like the show set up. I like the
Yeah, you
I like
see
the interviewing processes and the talking to the people and the way that
the audience
the
members.
audience members.
I love those audience
like,
members' reactions.
Yeah, they're really great.
Yeah,
And
Buzzsaw! Like,
hey, what's that? What do you reckon the board game is? How the fuck do you play the board game
you
at
see
home?
It like 5 times.
And it looks like
I
a
love it.
piece of shit too. Like, it's just red and white cardboard. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, man. Like, you've
No,
designed.
come on.
This
That's
is another
awesome.
thing where I'm like, the prop department of this film and the production crew. I just don't feel like they had time. I
Yeah.
feel like it feels like they just had to do shit and do it quickly.
Yeah.
Because tell me someone in props didn't say, you know what, I could probably whip up a better looking board game cover if you give me a day.
No, man, we're
we're
going.
going.
This is good. This is good.
for me.
I like
We're
it.
on. I want to know how you play the board game, though. What do you reckon?
I know.
What do you
I
reckon
know.
that system is?
I don't know,
Do you think
but
it's
I would
card,
love
like-
for everyone to write in and tell us what you think.
Rolling dice based, maybe?
I think it's literally a jumpsuit. in the box. You get to put the jumpsuit on, and then you delegate your friends as stalkers.
Yes.
And you run from them.
And you just run?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes up. Some of them, maybe it's a collect all 4, and you get the
You get different colours.
lighted suit.
Yes. Oh, someone gets the dynamo
Someone
suit.
gets the dynamo suit.
Sick.
Yeah. How good would that be?
I like it.
Imagine if you did open that box and it was a yellow jumpsuit. I'd be pissed if I got the silver one.
Oh, see,
Even though I hate yellow, I'd be pissed if I got the silver.
Well, the way that it's sad because it's clearly that they give the yellow one to the main.
Yeah.
Like it's like the silver ones. They're just there for the B
They're
team.
for the sidekicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if the main character gets killed early and they need to throw some more people in.
Good
They
idea,
throw the
Tys.
silver suits in. It's like the equivalent of the red coats in or the red jackets in Star Trek.
Oh yeah, red shirts.
Red
Yeah.
shirts. I'm like, what fucking word is it? It's not jackets. It's not coats. It's just shirt. You
It's just
idiot.
shirt. It's just your red
But yeah,
shirts.
but it's super fun. I'll happily watch this again, no doubt.
Absolutely.
Within probably
Oh, man.
2 years or so,
I've got
I'll
it
come
in
around.
there.
And I'll be like, yeah, it's Running Man time again.
Absolutely.
It's good fun.
Love it.
Excellent. All right. Well, that was
it. The Running Man.
Yeah,
I feel we've missed some things.
I think we've missed a bunch of shit.
Please write us in.
Yeah,
Tell us what we've missed.
What did you think of Running Man in your viewing experience? Did you find
Yeah.
anything funny that we missed?
Maybe there's something we did miss, like something that really
think
stood
there's a
out for
few.
you.
There's
there
probably
probably
a few.
is.
Hey, so we're going to move on.
Okay, go for it.
So we have a new segment.
We have oh God, Nick. Jeez, get it together, man.
Come on.
We have things to talk about in our new segment. Because we had it before, but now
we
have
just
stuff.
moved on from it
Yeah.
straight away because we had no content for it. We have our mailbag section. I'm so excited, man.
Mailbag.
This is amazing because we put the word out and we were like, tweet at us, send us emails.
And I didn't think
anyone would.
No one would. I didn't think.
I'm so glad we got stuff. So I'm gonna go. All right. So this is from.
Go for it. Who is it from?
Well, I don't know if we should. Yeah, I suppose
No?
we can say the names. Should we say the names?
Yeah,
This
why
is
not?
an email from Mark Clifford.
Oh, Mark.
If you could be one person from a movie and assume their role for the rest of your life, who would it be? Excluding superhero movies.
Excluding superhero movies. Okay, because that's a bit easy for me.
Would you like to go first, Nick, or am I going first?
I'd like to hear yours, Tys, actually.
All
Because
right.
I always go first.
Are you ready for this?
Go on.
I would like to be Rusty Ryan, Brad Pitt's character from the Ocean's trilogy.
Oh, good pick, Tyson. Well done, man.
He has got his shit sorted. He's rich. He's Brad Pitt.
He's Brad Pitt. Yep.
He is a big eater.
He is. That's because
He loves his food.
tried to quit smoking. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like he's
the one with it's actually Rusty's 11, not Ocean's.
He's the
11.
coolest.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, George Clooney's a cool motherfucker.
Oh,
Like, let's
absolutely. But yeah, everyone
around the
goes
bush.
to, if anyone has a question, they ask Rusty.
not-
They don't
Yes.
ask
And
Ocean.
because of Danny Ocean,
Mm,
Rusty can almost kind of hide in the shadows a little bit. He
can,
doesn't have to be
yeah.
anyone's boss.
exactly.
He's just kind of chills out, plays poker,
Yep.
waits for a phone call and goes, yeah, fuck it, I'll make another $1 million.
I love
Let's
that
do it.
movie.
I
that
love
movie.
the first and the third one a lot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The second one, I don't actually get what they did. I think I need to watch it again.
I've only seen it once and it was just kind of like, oh, that was not as fun as the first one. And so if I ever choose to watch one of them,
yeah.
it's one or three. Like, why watch the less fun one?
Yeah.
Like, why would you waste that 2 hours?
How good was number one, though? Like,
It's brilliant.
like-
I've revisited that movie many times.
just the banter on that movie alone, like, so good.
Hey, Nick,
Do you know that? Oh, no.
are you
go
going to
for
answer the question?
it. Oh, let me answer the question.
What?
Okay, so my answer to Mark's question is that I would be Jared from The Labyrinth.
Oh,
I would be the Goblin King.
good call.
Yeah, I would be the Goblin King. It would be. I understand that I would be condemning myself to a life of loneliness, but I feel that being David Bowie in the best he's ever been to me, If I can pull off some of those outfits, if I can have that hair, if I can, be the king of goblins.
So much, yeah.
And rule the labyrinth.
You can do that fucking cool shit with the balls in your hand.
Okay, that aside, because I don't want to be one of those guys.
Just was strolling down Swanson Street going, hey, check this out.
Hey, check this fucking thing out. Yeah, you like that? You like that? What about this?
Yeah, you got $2.
Don't be a jerk like that.
Great.
So, to answer Mark's question.
Thanks, Mark.
There we go, Mark. Yeah, buddy.
I don't know if anyone is welcome. Tweet at us if you had a better answer, because those answers were kind of
off the cuff
a little bit.
It was fine. It was fine.
Answers,
we're all fine.
Yeah, we're all
exactly.
fine.
Exactly.
So we've got another. Let's continue the mailbag section. What else have we got there, Nick?
Yeah. Tyson.
Yes.
We've been tweeted at us from a guy named Josh Peterson.
Josh Peterson.
Yeah.
I know Josh Peterson.
Do you know Josh?
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to Josh. He said, "Hey, Nick, Tys and Videotape. What would be Jesus? Let's start that again. There's going to be a lot of editing for you, Tys.
It's all right. We're still under 2 hours though, so we're doing real good.
Yeah, we're not keeping that.
We might keep some of this.
Tyson! Hey, Nick, Tyson Videotape. Would be interested to hear your thoughts on the Chuvy idea. Now, would you like to elaborate what the Chuvy idea is, Tys?
Yes, well, I didn't know what Chuvy was.
Neither did I.
Until I looked it up. Chuvy is it's been described, and I don't love this description, but it'll at least give you an idea, as Uber for movie watching. Mm-hmm. In the sense that based on demand of a cinema and the movie session time, we have a kind of a fluid pricing system.
Right.
That we can go onto the app and say, do you know what? I want to see this movie that's been out for 3 weeks on a Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Exactly.
I could almost guarantee you, or maybe not Tuesday because cheaper, Titus Tuesday. Wednesday at 3 o'clock, I can almost guarantee you I'd be the only person in that cinema.
Exactly.
I can log on to my Chuvy app, and I can be offered a cheaper ticket price by the cinema, knowing full well that they are not going to sell that session.
Yeah.
So, likewise, I can come at it from another way and say, it's a Thursday morning. I don't want to spend more than $10 on a movie.
Yeah.
What will you let me see? What do you got for me?
Yeah. That's a
Chuvy
good
will
idea.
tell me.
Yeah.
And it's all based on the demand of the session itself. I think it's a very cool idea. I have no idea how they're going to control it.
No.
How the app is going to work. I just feel like, why not then just make all sessions before 5 p.m. $5 cheaper?
They could.
It's essentially solving that same problem.
Yeah.
Because
but $5 cheaper in Australia is not that much.
No, I get. But what kind of price fluctuation are we really going to be talking about here?
Don't know.
Are we going to be talking?
But that's the thing. I think from what I read in the article, the closer that it comes to the session time, the cheaper the ticket becomes.
So is this kind of what we're going to be doing now? Am I going to be sitting in the foyer of a cinema, waiting for the cheapest ticket price possible? And am I going to base my cinema watching on the time of that I have spare?
No, absolutely
am I going to
not.
go and say, well, I have between 3 and 7.
Yeah.
And I arrive at 3 o'clock and I wait until whatever one that I might half want to see drops to $6.50. And then I go, bang, I'm going to check that out. Yeah. Is that really the way I want to watch movies? I don't know. I think there's positives and negatives to it. I think it's a really interesting idea, and I wish them well. You can register your interest. We have in no way affiliated with Chuvy in any way, shape, or form. No. But I did register my interest because I went to the website and asked, you wanted to see what was going on. So I'm probably going to get the app when it happens because I'm interested to try it out.
Yep.
More than anything because I just want to know how it's going to work.
How it works, yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like it's dependent entirely on the chains themselves, which is why I don't buy the Uber comparison because that is consumer to consumer almost. That is people saying,
well, mine is better. Just try mine.
I will it's a ride share kind of system where it's people just get in the car and say, I'm happy to drive you around at this point.
Exactly.
And when demand is low, we pay a lower price. But the cinema isn't sitting there saying, I'm happy to just show you a movie at whatever price is convenient. They have to set. They've got prices. They've got staff to pay. And,
exactly.
So it's going to be really
It's going to be interesting.
And like a lot of studios kind of define the terms of film leasing as well. So, you know, a huge company like Disney might say, for every ticket you sell to this, we want $4.
Right.
So, because I don't think they work in percentages. I think they work in monetary kind of amounts.
Right.
And so if you start only charging $8 for that session, you're starting to lose you're losing more.
We'll probably get less cinemas. A lot of cinemas would shut down because of that.
And then suddenly, is that what we're looking at? Is it suddenly because of competing prices, are we now going to see cinemas close down because the standard price has dropped to $15 again?
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
And then we can't pay staff, we can't pay... Because, you know, say what you like about certain cinemas, like, you know, your big chain cinemas like your Hoyts and your Village.
Yeah.
There's 15 to 20 kids working there at any one time.
Absolutely.
And they're all working their asses off.
Absolutely.
Suddenly, if that becomes 10 and I'm trying to see a movie, but I'm sitting in a pile of popcorn because they didn't have the staff to clean it up because they couldn't afford to pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I mean, that's the doom and gloom, obviously.
It's spiraling into a bad place we don't want to go for movie watching.
Which, you know... Yeah, I'm paying $20-something for a cinema ticket, but for me, I'm getting the cinema experience. Like it's an experience for me. You know, we get to, you know, we line up for the box office,
line
up for the candy bar. You sit down, you know the curtain draws and the speakers all kick up. Like it's actually like to me that's a really important thing.
Absolutely.
Like that whole process.
Absolutely.
And if that becomes ruined because the box office now becomes completely automated because they can't afford staff. So I just walk up to a thing and push a button. I don't know if I want that. A candy bar is just going to close because there's no staff, or
it becomes a self-service thing where it's just packets like the.
Or it's like Safeway. You don't get your popcorn anymore because you can't. We don't have staff to serve it. So you get chips and you get bottles of Coke. You get
dried popcorn, not fresh.
I don't know.
Wow.
So it's an interesting app idea.
Like we'll see where it goes.
I would love to see where it goes. That was a big rant. I didn't expect that to be a big rant.
That was good. I didn't think of it that much. But no, you made some really good points. Yeah.
But interesting idea, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Like I said, I've registered, so the app will probably arrive on my phone when it happens.
Cool.
Hey, we got another email.
Yeah?
I'm all about the emails, man. This is great. I'm so glad people are sending us emails.
Mailbox.
It's
mailbag. It's all fan mail. Fan mail.
This is an email from Katie Roos. Oh. Shout out to Katie Roos in New Zealand.
Katie Roos.
Totally want you two to go see Power Rangers at the cinema and give it a review.
Katie Roos.
From Roos.
Fucking off. God damn. Really? Really?
So it looks like we have a duty to perform.
We have a duty to perform.
Hey man, we do what the listeners tell us.
Are you being
serious?
We
are at their mercy.
Oh. I have to pay money to see Power Rangers?
Juvie, man. We'll get a cheap session. We'll get it like 6 because nobody's going to see Power Rangers, so we're going to get some cheap tickets.
We know what's going to go soon.
But yes, Roos, thank you for your suggestion. I think we're going to do it. We'll definitely. We might make a special episode.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know about that.
Why not? It could be our
because the episode would last 30 seconds.
I don't know. I feel like it could be something we surprisingly had a lot to say about. Wouldn't it be amazing if we walk out and we're like,
shit,
it was just this like deep and thoughtful like deconstruction of the superhero genre, and we're just like loving it sick. Or we just troll everyone, and after an hour of that, just go, nah, it's shit. It's exactly what you think it's going to be. Just joshing.
All right. Challenge accepted. Looks like we're seeing Power Rangers, Tys.
I like it.
Jeez.
Oh, I like it.
I think we're doubting this podcast.
So let's move on to our last segment of the night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We've got our streaming recommendations. Did you like what I called it? I called it the sassy streaming shenanigans.
No, I didn't. Where did you call it that?
That was in one of the episode descriptions.
Oh, really?
That was my favorite one so far. By all means, please send in some names. Send in some names for segments, puns. We like puns.
Please do.
We're up for anything.
Yeah.
A little ditty, a little song, if you've got a little theme song, send it in.
Give it anything.
We'll play anything. As you can tell, we
play the spoons.
Oh man, I love the spoons. It's an underrated instrument. So I'm going to recommend this week.
Go for it.
In my attempt to cover as many streaming sources in Australia as possible, I'm hitting up SBS On Demand this week.
Rad.
And I just saw that they added quite a few new titles.
Ooh.
SBS On Demand is doing really well, man. There's some
I need to
really
get
great really great movies in there.
Yep.
And this week, I want to recommend another one that is kind of timely to what we're dealing with at the moment, and that is Good Night and Good Luck.
Oh, I still haven't seen it.
So this is...
It's been on my list for years.
It would have been years because it was 2007?
7? Yeah, it was around the time I was... Oh, God.
I've knocked my phone off this fucking chair like 4 times.
5 seconds. Yeah. It was, I remember everyone raving about it when it first came out.
It's a really great movie. It's a George Clooney directed movie who I enjoy quite a lot as a director.
Yeah.
I don't think he's always on the mark, but Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Oh, I love that
I'm a
movie.
huge fan of that film.
Love that movie.
And Good Night and Good Luck, I absolutely love.
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, the cast is incredible.
That's
you've got David Strathairn as the main character, whose name is escaping me at the moment. He was
Edward R. Morrow?
Yes, Edward Morrow. So a reporter, news broadcaster, who basically stood up to the McCarthy era witch hunts and kind of
so it's based
went
in
on record
reality.
it's definitely and basically went on record saying
you're a jerk.
This is not good. This is not, and copped a lot of flack for it, and
this
it became
is
and so it's obviously it's a little bit timely for what we're dealing with at the moment. The way that the news media is being represented in culture, it's good to look at a movie like this where it was 2005, by the way.
Yeah.
It's good to look at a movie like this that takes events that are very similar to what's happening now, and kind of showed the positive outcome of it.
Yeah.
That within all this horrible things that are happening, there are people that will stand up for
that we are looking
what is right.
Yeah. That media are doing their job and reporting on things that are meant to be reported on, not just making fake news.
And look, the days of the noble journalist might not be
They're a bit slim.
Might be near gone. We don't have the Woodward and Bernsteins of the world really anymore.
Yeah.
But there is still like elements of that. And
Absolutely.
When you look at what we're dealing with at the moment, where any kind of dissenting opinion is basically just disregarded as fake news, it's amazing to see a film like this and remember that there was a time where something very similar happened, and the I don't want to say right, because that's a bit simplification, but the truth did kind of find a way to overcome.
Yeah.
And it's also a kick-ass movie. Like, it's really great.
Yeah.
It's also short.
Right.
There is something to be said for a movie that gets in and out in 90 minutes.
You do love that, don't you,
And
Tys?
just gets it done.
Yeah.
I remember watching this film and actually being surprised when it ended.
Right.
Because I was like, holy shit, I feel like I've only watched an hour, like been watching this for an hour.
Yeah.
It's bang on 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And it feels like it flies by.
That's good to keep in the pocket, because my wife loves a hour and a half movie. Like,
and
if she's done, she's like, oh, yes.
When
okay,
it's
good.
like late and I'm like, I could fit a movie in, but it can't be an epic because I've got to get up early.
Exactly. You don't want to chuck on, Two Towers, do you, Tys? The extended version.
Extended cut of 2 Towers.
2 Towers.
Just a little, quick watch before
bed.
A
quick watch that goes for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, great one.
Nice,
get on it. And get on SBS On Demand. They've got some really cool stuff on it.
Yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, really great. What do you got for us, Nick?
Mine's a little bit more recent, 10 years more recent than yours.
Oh,
mine is 2015, and it was by a surprise. I love the trailer. It was called The Gift, with Joel Edgerton.
Oh, yeah,
now,
cool. All right, I never saw it.
Yeah.
I heard it was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it was great.
So this is contradicting myself a little bit, which, if you can do it and you can do it well, then, my hat is off to you. Now, Joel Edgerton wrote, directed, and starred in this sucker. And he brings the gold to the point where this thing should be a must-buy, not a must-watch. You must buy this movie. Not that a lot of people buy anything anymore, because everyone's like, I stream, so I don't need to. Yeah, good luck to you. But yeah, sorry.
When all our infrastructure is gone and the internet is crumbling,
you will come to Nick and Tys, and you would want to borrow stuff from us. Well, guess what?
I will lend you my friend's box set.
Yeah, I'm not lending you shit because you don't bring it back. But yeah, The Gift really, it was such a movie where you didn't really, the trailer didn't give you much.
No, I really liked the trailers for this film. I just never got around to watching it.
It didn't give you much, so you kind of didn't know where it was going at the start. It was kind of set off as like a bit of a thriller. Maybe this guy has a bit of a gripe. Sorry, it's so Joel Edgerton and Rebecca Hall and Jason Bateman. I know I said Justin in another previous episode. I want to correct myself.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But yeah.
But weren't you talking about his sister, Justine Bateman?
No, I was talking about Justin Bateman.
But I think you might have just said Justine, and so it's forgivable.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, they're a young married couple who they're just together, and they come across Joel Edgerton, and Joel Edgerton knows Jason Bateman's character from their past, and you don't really know how. Joel Edgerton's character is very quiet, very very almost, you would say, simple, but not really. And anyway, he kind of just takes
That's like what Liam Neeson does.
takes a liking to Jason Bateman's character again. Like, they've had a bit of a past, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in ages. We should hang out. Cool. How's Friday? And kind of is a little bit too forced. And you're like, okay, what's going on? But then the movie takes a mad, I'm not going to say twist, because it's not that big of a twist, and I don't want to build it up and ruin it for people who haven't seen it, especially you, Tys.
No, but I think it's pretty clear that he turns out to be a crazy.
Oh, okay. I'm going to leave you there then.
Okay, sure.
Because that's beautiful. Because if you think that, then that's what you should go with.
Oh, well, now I know something else.
Do you know what I mean? Because it is that, and it's just so well written, so well acted, and it puts an actor, I'm not going to say who, in a situation where we haven't seen him before, and it's really refreshing, really nice. Please go and see it. It is on Stan. That's my Stan pick for this week. So please watch it if you're on Stan. If not, buy it, because you won't regret it. You really won't.
Good call, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, that about wraps us up for this week.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple of things we want to mention. We want to shout out to the composer of our theme.
Oh, yes.
So you would have noticed we had a bit of a temporary theme for our first few episodes,
which was badass. I think it was cool.
It did its thing. But this episode, you would have heard a new fucking rockin' theme.
Yeah, from my cousin Zach Healy. We're going to shout out to him, the champ.
Zach. We've also got, of course, our kick-ass artwork designed by Jack D.
Jack D. So many people have actually mentioned on the Facebook page. They've messaged me personally and gone, wow, that artwork is totally
awesome.
Totally
awesome.
boss.
Yeah, she's done a killer job there.
Thanks, Jack.
And also, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, anywhere you find your podcasts.
Libsyn, anywhere.
Yeah, you can actually listen on Libsyn as well, can't you?
Yeah.
And you can email us on nick@tysandvideotape@gmail.
That's true. And you can follow us on Twitter at Nick Tys Videotape.
And find us on Facebook.
And find us on Facebook at Nick Tys and Videotape.
We're just everywhere. Just Google us, and social media will just take you the rest of the way.
We don't come up that quickly.
We don't come up that
No, not yet. No, we haven't got that many followers. That's why you should like, subscribe, write to us.
Don't forget.
Tell your friends. Tell your mum. I told mine. Did you tell yours, Tys?
No, I haven't told my mum.
Oh, what the hell, man?
Tell my mum.
Tell your mum.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
She'll be confused.
Exactly.
As soon as I say the word podcast.
That's not the point. Tell your mum.
I'll end up spending half an hour explaining the concept of podcasts.
That's the point.
That is the fun. Hey, so next week, we're really excited. We're going to complete the Holy Trinity.
We are. We're going to, because we decided, because we did Die Hard with a Vengeance, which is Bruce Willis. We did Running Man this week. We have to round it off, Tys, with a Stallone movie.
We do. We really do.
And we decided that because we've seen Die Hard and Running Man to death, we decided to flip it a bit and do a Stallone movie that both Tys and I haven't seen.
Yes.
And come at it really fresh.
Super
fresh eyes, and see what we come up with.
Yeah.
Tys, what are we watching?
We're watching COBRA. It's
COBRA.
I'm pretty excited, man.
If you know this cover,
is just bonkers.
Of course you know this cover. This cover is red. It's just Stallone. That's it. He's got a gun that has the laser sighting coming out of it. His aviators are badass. To be honest, I think it's drawn. Is the cover drawn?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Because it looks drawn to me. I could be wrong.
If that's drawn, no, you're right.
I think it's drawn.
I think it is.
See, back in the day, instead of floating heads, why don't you just draw something like that?
Oh, are you ready for the tagline? Oh, there's 2 taglines.
I'll go for it.
Crime is a disease.
Ooh.
Meet the cure.
Oh! I am in.
And the second one is the strong arm of the law.
I like the first
one.
one.
It's not as good. COBRA, 1986. So try and watch it before we talk about it next week.
So
I don't know. I don't think it's on any streaming thing, so we're going to have to rent it old-fashioned, man.
We're going to have to rent it.
We might have to visit a Video Easy.
Blockbuster. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.